Yeah, I already like the difference of Duelist. I mean, Bunny B has Neon in the back pocket, but now you get to kind of more slowly scale up, use the Boombot, get more information, while Neon just kind of goes in blasted, which I don't mind it in the right hands, as long as you have hands. That's what's important, right?
Yeah.
But Wadadaa, I mean, they got to throw hands because they're on attack first, so
Yeah.
I love also the resurgence of Tejo as another kind of informational tool for the team.
Exactly. And that's basically looking at this composition, a lot of the toolkit that is available from even when Fnatic came out with this Raze Fade in the comp. Having Teo on top of that too is going to be very good because it allows now Bunny B to even satchel up under the pressure of the salvos into the B side and whatnot. So there is going to be a lot of good ways for them to find information quite early within the rounds, being explosive whenever they can, being slow on the defaults if you want to as well. But as we kick off the pistol round, you can definitely see here in this best of 3, we're looking to heavy aggress for Team Hyper over on this north side hit on the arcade. While again, just as we've noted, Wadadaa is going to have Starbound playing solo to overlook 2 quadrants for themselves.
Find you.
It's going to be a fun map to see how Starbound can shine, which Chamber is always have an easier time stepping up and getting out on defense. Pangolin stepping up though, and even despite the flash, it was nice, but a 1v3, that's still too much on your plate. Now Starbound gets another, and Wadadaa will set themselves up for A.
We're gonna even set up here for cutting the angles, just have players run against them, just very easy for them to do, even going with a little bit of a tap kill towards the end with the classic, but that was just an easy open for Wadadaa. You had Power Pixel on that north side, going with the Prowler, getting a lot of information of how many players are pushing against them, and then they call the pivot. Wall contact towards Satellite. The dish flash doesn't get too much pressure there from Pangolin, playing too far forward in their setup. And yeah, that's an easy round coming in for Wadadaa. You can even see here, Luna is just trying to give their life away just to make sure that they have credits to work with within the next round. But a huge flawless to start for Wadadaa, where they didn't even really need to play for trades.
Yeah, and this is the hyperspeed choice of maps, so they're gonna have to face Wadadaa, who are kind of a very hyped up team right now, and there's a lot of eyes on them, as I feel like they've already proven themselves. They've won a kickoff, they got 3rd at the most recent kickoff as well, and they've always been considered that top team. But what more can we see out of the identity of Wadadaa now that you have these new maps coming in? We're still relying on the Chamber, which, hey, Starbound's getting 3Ks with the Chamber, and now we're letting loose here for Ruin Crest. This is one way to get information, but will now be forced to kneel as Wadadaa will be watching the north side and keeping a distance. I like that decision from Wadadaa. Let the rifles do all the talking.
Too easy. I think at that point, you're having a very similar open from Power Pixel A. It was dangerous because they had the spike on their back, but again, it was just Prowler, get info, you realize that you're getting pushed down. There's even a drone coming in from Astralis all the way from Dish. So that not only spots how many players, even if it doesn't suppress them from the crab walk, it's still information. So a lot of the players were ready, double Guardian, Outlaw, whatever it was, just dispatched every single player that was trying to push forward here from Hyperspeed Golden. And it gave the round here for Wadadaa to plant towards his B site. There's no stall. Luna, I think it's a smart bet for her to save her 2 salvos here, just to make sure that you know, you're not going to expend the extra credits to purchase that salvo for the next round. Data Spike is the name of the game going to this post plant. I'd like to see now maybe Power Pixel A start going for the chase, maybe even Starbound. Losing the Outlaw though would be kind of dangerous, but they're still trying to hunt these down. And you're seeing both of them move here on that map.
And Wadadaa only have 1 death.
Enemy remaining.
And when it rains, it pours. Now we're hunting for ult orbs, and this is the level of domination, just at least out the gates, that we expected from Wadadaa, because it's always those first matches of any tournament where a top team can look shaky. Maybe they're not fully clocked in on some of their opponents. They're so focused on, you know, they're big rivals and all that, but I like that Wadadaa, they put a significant amount of work between kickoff, between now, realizing, okay, we didn't win kickoff. There's serious competition. There's orgs coming in, there's orgs signing teams, and we have to be the next up. And I like that Wadadaa are just going in with so much confidence, and also only 1 death.
Yeah. It's interesting though, as you keep showing this hand for Wadadaa over on the arcade side. We've actually changed. Oh, wait, hold on. We'll hold that top. Pangolin actually dropped the spike carrier. This is a bonus round for Wadadaa, but they still get the immediate trade, and they're going for a plant. It seems as though it should be easy, although Luna is finally coming in to delay as much as she can.
Hey, this is the type of shakeup we wanted to see. First rifle buy is not over. What a shot from Starbound. Ruined. Quest was trying to slide them DMs and just got floored. Wadadaa, though, having a bit of fun. 3 versus 3, and now you keep your distance, you stick to your guns. And this was the first time Hypersphere started to really shake things up in a round. And once you have a more even playing field, this is still going to be a good game.
Well, looks like Fred's been practicing for the lineups too for the Brimstone. Even if it's a 1 versus 1, you'll get the delay. Actually, it missed. It missed.
You got backups?
By 2 salvos, you're still Gucci. So a little bit of a saving grace towards the end. Don't know if it's necessarily a bad plant or not, but the lineup was a little bit off to the right. Nonetheless, still around bonus round 1 by Wadadaa. But what I was trying to say here is that Wadadaa so far in the last 3 rounds have been opening over on Arcade. If it's not for Prowler, if it's not for something, they're just continuing to show their hand. I mean, look at the setup right now. Once again, still showing Power Pixel on that side because they don't want to mix things up too much if it's just easy for them to get these rounds. So to see Hyper Speed just fully change their setup to try to fight for A-main control instead was kind of a little bit off kilter for me. You still have to make sure that you're trying to deny as much as you can on that side to make sure you have Arcade under heavy pressure and lock down to force Wadadaa to a different spot.
You got a ping on Power Pixel and it's the type of team that can do that 1-4 setup. The same situation. Starbound left on an island. Here's the crunch. Wadadaa now constructing smoke while Hyper Speed. Well, they gotta slow things down one way or the other. And now Lovergirl stays in the safety of the smoke with the spike dropped. Wadadaa are facing quite some trouble. This is an uphill battle. You get a plant down, but Hyperspeed are right around the corner. But the peel from Wadadaa is solid enough. Juna will hold her own and keep the spike in hand. Only 1 left from Hyperspeed, and you can still try to prevent the plant here. Now always just playing with their food.
Yeah. At least now guarantees the position of the last player, making it easy for Starbound to pick up that last kill. Could have been dangerous though, because that choice of position of plant for Juna was quite dangerous because you're really exposed and open from Canteen. Usually you want to tuck in a little bit more towards that green box so you have the safe plant and also the opener for the players that are playing more towards tree side to have an easier look when the spike's being tapped. That said, as you flooded back here for Hyperspeed, at least the crossfire setups were there for Wadadaa, and they were just able to trade off each other quite well. So that is going to be an abundance of money that's currently flowing for the side of Wadadaa. You have a Tour de Force that's being pulled out from Starbound as well from getting that last kill and getting this available now. So yeah, this is very difficult for Hyperspeed, and I like this. At least you have to be a little bit more proactive somewhere. Maybe the fighting toe-to-toe is not really working out, so you're isolating at least one quadrant to make sure. Maybe that's a change of plan that they're trying to approach. And looking at it though, for Pangolin, another attempt to just flash swing, but they're gonna try to flash against 4 people.
It's gonna be pretty chaotic though, once you get all the smokes down and now it's just timings off the swings. I mean, that's how I think Hyperspeed works. These for a loop. Oh, showstopper right to the dome. Goodbye, Pangolin, but a better trade now out of all ways. You gotta keep Wadadaa humble. They've been undefeated thus far. Armageddon's definitely gonna throw a wrench into things. Wadadaa gotta step away. They'll Prowler back in, and now Crest and always find their moments to show face. And always nothing. These 3v3s, these 2v2s. Hyperspeed keep it as close as they can, but Wadadaa know how to close out. Ruined Crest at 66 HP, only minor injuries on the Wadadaa side, and they're just going to abandon ship. They have time to do so.
Still a nice reaction for Power Pixel as they were planting 2 and getting overwhelmed by the Armageddon. They decide to throw back the Nightfall back onto the defensive line to give a chance for Juna to get a surprise attack. She didn't get it, but got good value at least to keep them at bay towards that spawn. Still gives a chance for Wadadaa to rotate back towards this A site for a plant. Ruined Quest has 0 util left, so it's going to have to come down, try to aim. Play the mind games of tapping that spike, forcing the double swings. Thankfully, also, Astralis doesn't have any rockets to work with either, so if they're not coordinated here, doesn't matter. Starbound's still alive. It's a 1v1-1 on their side.
Starbound's just the GOAT. Like, what are they, like 8-1 now? And they got like a 3K off the pistol. Yeah, of course they're 8-1. Oh my god, just ruining lives over there. Timeout. We got to put out some fires, okay? And we got to keep just hyping up Wadadaa. This is such an exciting team to watch, and I'm really glad they stuck together because in the GC scene and just any esports in general, as soon as you kind of lose that top position and you start to wonder, oh my god, do we have to change roster? Do we have to start trialing new players? But Wadadaa is their friendships that have lasted for so long, and they really want to gun for that #1 spot. I think the talent is there that they could definitely rival a team like SRG and others down the road.
And Wadadaa is always going to come into this type of event with a chip on their shoulder of not being assigned team when they're at the top for the longest time here in North America. So they're going to play with a lot of aggression, a lot of confidence, and you're going to see a lot of body shooting or something like that at the same time too, just to show that they have character and they're always going to keep fighting for their spot. It's nice to see again that all of them try to stick together as much as they could. If Sleeper Aria maybe didn't have any other outside engagements, you probably still see them playing with Wadadaa right now. But outside of that fact, let's focus on the present and what's currently happening right now with Bunny Bee. She is doing an excellent job right now creating space for Wadadaa on their executions. And if you're looking at the pathing that she's choosing, it's not the standard salvos to get heaven control or whatnot, because they know that Device is not really going to try to play through utility around that side. So they're just trying to push right into the spawn, convert towards that side first, and then flood back into that B site if there's still players hanging out on that side. There should be good ways to stall this right now for Hyperspeed, but it hasn't shown yet, which is why they need it this time out.
And when Wadadaa have better buys, they know how to keep their distance and just kind of play the ranged advantage that they have. Hyperspeed did have Ruin Crest by a judge, and if we keep having these skirmishes amongst a very small space, as that Nightfall does suppress the defense a little bit, but it gives confidence for Wadadaa to go in. Astralis just gets two, playing off the one-way beautifully. Crest will at least confirm the one. I don't know how much they were able to pick up the weapon. There's just too much going on. Tried to get that upgrade, but just gets overwhelmed. So I'd like to judge by if we were going to get into a more enclosed space, but Wadadaa kind of changed things up.
I don't know if one of the smokes missed there on the defensive side, because if I'm looking from the POV from Hyperspeed and then I see a smoke that doesn't have the red hue around there, I'm assuming here that it's a defensive smoke. It went on the top of the boxes that kind of created a one-way for the Wadadaa team. As you saw Hyperspeed trying to flit out from spawn, legs were spotted, easily shot down, and then Wadadaa just didn't allow for Hyperspeed to flood retake with this composition who's basically built to be very good for flood retakes. Just have to make sure that you're not losing too many players in the process before, especially from the anchors. If you're playing for ones and you realize you're at a point where you have to give it up, I mean, just give it up, play the full retake, take control of pushing over the other extremity where there could be less players. Rich is right now kind of working out. Look at him playing on the top of drop, back towards that spot.
The orbitals right on the site in case there were any rats hiding around. Wadadaa, when they want space, they claim it like it's their name on it. And you gotta be careful through the fade with the spike trying to extend out. Well, I guess when there's an op, like especially in the hands of Starbound watching over you, it's all good. But still a 3 versus 3. Hyperspeed have not allowed the entry of Wadadaa, who now commit a second ultimate within the A site. And still, you're trading. Hyperspeed are making it as difficult as possible. Oh my god. What a headshot from Astralis. Luna has an angle, depending on how they stagger. Trying to create that high-low. Astralis don't even need a secondary. They're so clean.
Hold on, Astralis is kind of back. She's hitting some crazy shots so far. Currently 10-1. Died only 1 so far on the attack side. It's kind of crazy. I mean, also as a Tejo, you're a little bit more passive. You're trying to defend that spike when it's being planted, but when you need her to step up, man, she's actually landing some very, very clean shots. This is a really night and day from what I've watched from the kickoff. I think there was like a short stint, even pre-kickoff, maybe the end of 2025, where Astralis really was showing some great skill, but then it kind of fell off a bit during kickoff. But dude, now she's kind of clean with it. She's back.
Very clean. Ooh, just have to dodge some obstacles there. Poor little Spidey. Wadadaa not getting much information. Same situation though. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're 7-0. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Little hopscotch against the missiles, the salvos. This whole Ruin Crest has been wanting to get value out of these shotguns on these lower buys, but you gotta do what you can with what you got. And Wadadaa, they got it all in their favor. 4 versus 1. Now only Luna remaining, which, hey, Lover Girl, the double kill with the Stinger. That's pretty nice. That's gonna make things easier for Luna, but that's just still
with a
quite a hoop to jump through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got a Stinger, 20 bullets in your clip. You're trying to just hold mouse 1, they run into you, but there's like 4 players still running up the ropes to trade off. So it didn't pan out I mean, it panned out as intended because you're just trying to take your 1 and 2. I love the attempt of trying to dance around both salvos to try to utilize the shotgun, but it's nice that it's still identified by Wadadaa that it isn't always going to be a clear and clean take when you're double salvoing into the hallway. A little bit of a simple pistol drop here. And if you're living under the rock pad or you're still trying to learn a little bit what the simple drop is, there was a game back then in Counter-Strike and CSGO where he actually dropped his pistol to swing out into a window of top B and dust 2 and just ops the guy, and that became the simple smoke. That said, we're going to move into round number 9.
See, I thought it was like a white flag. To be honest, because I'm not very cultured. I thought it was like, here, I don't have weapons. My hands are out. Please don't shoot. That's what I thought that was.
Let me educate you for a second. So kind of like in like a KO underhand flash, you have of course flashes in CS, right? So if you underhand throw it, some people would turn away from it. So now you throw the pistol in the same way to make people kind of turn away from the flash. But that said, nobody's going to turn away from that one. RuinQuest just swats Bunny Beef out from thin air. And that's an early advantage that was much needed so far for Hyperspeed. Because they've been behind this whole game so far.
RuinQuest, I could tell, has been caffeinated before this match. And they're on the perfect agent to just be letting loose. And also, the first blood, the Bunny Bee. Like, I've been thinking RuinQuest is going to pop off as soon as they get the right weapon. And how about the right ultimate thrown in the faces of Wadadaa? Pretty solid advantage now for Hyperspeed. Wada still just have to collect the spike, and wondering if you just pivot at this point. This is kind of hitting like a brick wall.
Yeah. Again, it's a great stall to, in the first place because dropping Bunny Bee is all that space making that was intended for her to take. So you kind of have to slow things down and play the contact now and walk right into the mouse one of the Odin. Almost even gets a triple kill for Luna. But like I started about 8 HP left. I mean, at this point, you're probably still going to try to go for it. Like I said, money is still very, very good for Wadadaa. And even if you lose a round, but you drop a lot of players in the process, that would be Hyperspeed with a very low buy going to the next round, probably forcing half shields.
Always scoping out A, so they should be confirming B, but is it too late? Oh, Starbound did get the surprise factor, but yeah, the issue was that if anyone shot back, the 8 HP goes by pretty quick. But hey, we get the first round on the board for Hyperspeed, and I think a lot of that got sparked up by RuinQuest, and I think really playing confidently, and you need to do that on an agent like Neon, and just really trying to find some surprise timings against Wadadaa, because you do not want to let that team find a flow.
Yeah, and at that point for RuinQuest to just adapt to how Bunny Bee has been scaling on that map, foster placement, just drop him. You know that it's been very similar on how Wadadaa executing, but let's hold that thought. There's a huge push down towards tree for a fight.
Oh, you're only gonna get one chance at that, and Bunny Bee makes you pay the price. Oh my god. I think 2 for 2 on both showstoppers we've seen thus far. Wadadaa will get the plan, and I think they're done messing around. This is not a comedy show, folks. Like, Wadadaa gave you a round, and that's all they're feeling like being charitable for.
You have no choice but to fall back and save. I think if Lover Girl is going to try to go for this, they're using making the wrong decision here. Because look at the money for the rest of the team. They need this rifle in the next round. But going for it. They want to fight it for pure aggression. Maybe the stats.
Yeah, this is Aura kill. That you were trying to get anyway. But hey, trying to make it as costly as possible. I was surprised that RuinQuest even bought an op, because when you're, I guess the lost streak bonus is getting pretty nice. You're just trying to go for anything that's different. It was nice.
Yeah, I mean there was good util from Hyperspeed. I think they were seeing what was available, how you're gonna try to just change things up a little bit here, because most of the times you've been wall contacting or trying to play off info from Pangolin and flashing and swinging, and they never really tried to go for it. Let's try to punish Starbound on the south side. They're gonna try it on the north side at least this time.
Lots of concussed right into the whole squad of Wadadaa. RuinQuest just trying to stay as measured as they can for Wadadaa. We're sick and tired. And they just swung as a team, and we're left with the remnants of Wadadaa on a save round for Hyperspeed. Oh, wow, Astralis. This is my spawn. This is my turf. And Wadadaa lead in double digits.
I'm telling you, Australis right now is looking very clean. It's not just on simple, let me move forward, crosshair placement, and get a pick. To be aware of what was happening in that scenario. So they were getting crunched. She has to protect the front side first. Then Lovergirl did as much as they could. Long range ghost, nice double kill. But for Australis to be able to fall back, reload, seeing that the Armageddon's probably available too at that same point, let me just swing out and then the flick from one to the other. Even if it's against Nico, you need that. I mean, that was probably high percentage play for the type of for the side of Hyperspeed to probably be able to win that round. But she saves the round. Right now, 10-1. Going for a full executive.
Last round of the half. Wadadaa, this has been the most difficult site to try and get into as Bunny Bee kind of runs out of bullets. Really almost start to bring the fist down and just start having a brawl. And now Luna's dancing around, very flustered, very difficult spot for Hyperspeed. Maybe no, always would have been the last saving grace to at least get some trades before the exit. Now there's a lot. There's a lot on Pangolin's plate here for the last round, and not able to even get the ult if we wanted to go for a Hail Mary. But 11-1, this is going to be a quick match.
Big round two for Juna as that Brimstone, because you saw that she attempted to push over at spawn, I think in round number 4 or 5, and this time she does it in round number 12. So maybe the game plan too for Wadadaa, as they're creating a lot of ruckus towards these side exits, to have, you know, Juna try to find her own timings inside the spawn side, and now she finds great results out of that. And as they start off with a flawless as an opener, they even close the half with a flawless themselves. Now, this is not necessarily supposed to be the harder side for Wadadaa with its composition either. So Hyperspeed, they have to make sure that they are able to trade off against how Wadadaa is going to play on this defensive line. I think most cases I would try to identify where Starbound would be, even if they're able to get a pick and TP out. If you can get an instant trade, that'll be a great start for you to work the quadrants around the map.
Yeah, I see this Neon and Breach from the side of Hyperspeed as they go in and blow up the site. Maybe this is going to be their better side. Make this look as close as possible. Starbound with a sharp eye. Not sharp enough shot. Maybe needs a small band-aid. But 91 HP is a plenty. Just spotting the one, and especially that being the Neon, does give you a tell that they could have been pivoting towards A's side. Now they're watching toward the swap up.
We're getting ready for an eye for PowerPixel 2. Immediately spam through smoke if they can.
Here's the spam. Hyperspeed just really suppressing to try and protect Lovergirl. You know exactly where Wadadaa is going to be emerging from. You want to keep control of this chaos. So Hyperspeed now have the clock on their side. Wadadaa, though, they got Salvos, they got Prowler, they got Bunny Bee, who's making entry. Nades to destabilize the high ground. Not expecting one around the box, and always will confirm. And Hyperspeed missing in action, though, despite the trades. The teamwork from Wadadaa is simply too strong. And Runecrest is having a pretty good game, but Wadadaa, they're just a really good team.
Yeah, I was quite impressed by Hyperspeed's macro until we got into the pulse plan, to be honest with you, because the game plan to try to sell this fake or find info towards tree side, they see no aggression, they walk contact to try to find where Starbound is, they find them at dish, so they force the fight. Starbound TPs, but they're not trying to move forward on that space, because you would think, okay, well, if you have to give it that space for Wadadaa, you need some teammates to move forward to try to close that gap, so they would expect maybe an over-rotate from Wadadaa, from B to A, exactly. But as they go for this B side plant, and they've already inserted Pangolin at that lower right side quadrant at the A side halls, they should have just stayed hidden the whole time and not try to push forward, so they could actually keep their wall activated and try to push anybody and kill and punish anybody on the rotates. Them dying, unfortunately, there was
Sometimes you gotta slow it down. The Strawl is just the bodyguard. The cutoff. We're satchelating with shotguns. Oh my god, Bunny Bee's having a little too much fun, but Hyperspeed will hold on to spawn. And now this hallway is looking pretty tumultuous. It's looking like there's plenty of util here, and Hyperspeed are gonna have to find a different way. And Juno's gonna be able to call this out when she sees it.
Sees it. I mean, tries to do damage. You did whatever you could. Even if it's offside, I could respect it. I mean, you're winning 12-1. mistakes could happen, but if anything, she stalled long enough, and now they're just pincered. There's really no way for Hyperspeed to really book it into this B site, especially now that these gaps are being plugged through. You're seeing right now salvos activated by Australis, trying to see if she needs it to try to go towards this B site.
Enemy remaining.
Power has to read.
Ooh. That was almost a stacked kill. Luna got a bit of plot armor on her side on that one. A guardian angel, if
30
you will.
seconds
But
left.
the Slurk from Starbound was already watching the A site, is pushing through the spawn. And Luna maybe wants to take advantage of Wadadaa going on their little adventures. We'll catch Starbound off guard, and we're left with a 1 versus 1. But 15 seconds, Stralis knows the job. Salvo the site,
10
prevent the
seconds
plant,
left.
win the round, perhaps maybe even without needing the kill. But plant still goes through. Luna adjusts well, but 6 HP. Now it's the jump scare game, and that means Wadadaa will take the map 13-1.
Again, how stoic is Australis on that 1v1 towards the end too? A nice little victory for Wada to kick off their stage 1,
Defenders win.
Swiss stage rather, in the stage number 1. So